Bridge Gap Lexington is celebrating its first birthday, and we wanted to start off by saying thank you. Together, we have been able to reach over 1,600 people in impoverished communities in the Lexington area that are in desperate need of the hope and love of Jesus Christ. And this last year we spent time building relationships with our friends in these communities, getting to know their stories and their needs. And we have built strong partnerships with organizations that have resources and a heart to help our friends on the streets.
So as we look to the year ahead, we have some exciting news to share. From the beginning, when we started Bridge the Gap, we knew that part of God's heart for this ministry was to reach specifically women trapped in sex trafficking and addiction. We've been praying for over a year for a minibus to use on mobile outreach so that we can create a safe place to minister to and love on these women. We're so thrilled that our incredible partners at Bethel Harvest Church have provided that for us. So we are preparing to launch under his wings this summer a ministry focused on reaching and rescuing women trapped in sex trafficking and helping them find their purpose and their passion for Christ.
The bus provides a safe place for the women to get out of the elements of the weather and out of the environment, very hostile and dangerous environment, and they're able to come in on the bus and receive a hot meal and really honestly just be cared for, be known, be listened to, and to be valued. And what we've seen time and time again, that in that kind of environment and that kind of atmosphere, walls begin to come down and people begin to open up, and in that space we can have some deep conversations, some powerful times of prayer, and we can begin to share the opportunities that are present to get these women out of the lifestyle that they hate.
So let me give you an example of what this looks like. Time and time again, as we've gone out in mobile outreach and gone into these communities, God has placed us in the path of people at crucial moments in their lives, whether it is getting out of recovery that day or getting out of jail that day or considering suicide that night. He has created divine appointments. Just a couple of weeks ago, as we were visiting a motel that we have established a consistent presence at, I met Megan, and she was walking towards a motel room with all of her bags, and I offered her a hot meal. And as we began to talk, she was really distracted and began to tell me that she had just left a rehab program. And she came back to this place because it was the only place she knew where to go. And it was the place that she left. And that she was scared. She had a friend on the way and just wasn't sure what to do. And so I began to share with her some resources for sober living and just communicate to her that there are other options besides returning to what she knew previously. So we exchanged phone numbers, and she went on her way, and we got in the van and drove down the road, and about 5 minutes later she texted and said, "Hey, we can't get a room here. Could you give us a ride to a different motel down the street that has vacancy?" So we turned around and went and picked her back up, drove her and her friend to the motel, and as her friend stepped out, we had a chance to be alone with her in the van. And as we began to talk, she began to open up and share that, she didn't have anybody in her life other than one family member. The rest of her family was trapped in addiction, and that she didn't have any sober friends. She also talked about how during the program that she knew and that her groups had talked about finding a purpose for their life. And she said, "I don't know what my purpose is yet, but I know that I need to find it." And we were able to share, stories from our own experiences and what God has done in our lives with her, and just really encourage her that this was an opportunity to start and do things different and start anew. And after we said goodbye, we did hear from her the next day that she did go to that family members and is in a safe place, and we're working to get her into a program. So just the power of that safe space and getting her away from a place where she knew she was scared, and being able to share hope and opportunity in just those 10 minutes in a bus is so powerful.
We know that not everyone is called to go and do this work. We have seen over the last few months God begin to put together a team of people that are called and equipped to minister to these women. But we do believe that we're all called to make a difference. And as equally as important as going are people that are resourcing us to go, partnering with us financially so that we can be present in situations like Megan. As we expand and just take this next step of faith, we are asking for you to prayerfully consider partnering with us financially, monthly or one-time gift, to help empower us to be present for women that are in desperate need of God's hope, love, and freedom.
This is a time in our lives and all of our lives that we're coming out of a period of isolation. And the church has an opportunity like we have never had before to get outside of the walls and to follow Jesus's last words to us before he left, and that was to go. And so we ask you just to be a part of going. Come join us as we reach out and show out the love of God and provide hope and opportunity to those who most desperately need it.